Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the Morning Mayhem Show. I am Casper, and Tommy should be here any minute. Yep, he just texted me. He said he should be here. He's just running a tad bit late, so we're good there. I won't be running solo dolo, even though we've had a little bit of luck running solo dolo. It hasn't been too bad. Had some fun watching some funny court stuff. I do have a bunch of court fails lined up for if that happens to happen in the future. So I'll just keep those on deck. My MAGA hat's a little worn out, so it fits my head all weird. But anyway, I thought I'd wear it just for fun today. How's everybody doing? Oh, let me get in the chat. Man, slipping. Like I literally was setting up some other computers to record my court stuff and realized that the thing up in the corner said it's showtime. And I was like, oh shit, how long has that been up? So I just hit play and then ran to shut the door, turned off the light, came back, and voila, here I am. Good morning, everybody. I say who's in the chat. Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Kristen. I think I did read earlier, Kristen, you're going to be at some appointments this morning. You'll be surely missed. Blessed to Crochet. How are you doing this morning? Thanks for coming in. Oh, thanks, Kristen, for the super chat or super thanks or whatever those are called. I've never gotten one before, so this is that'll be a first for me. So I really don't even know what those are. I mean, I know it's part of being monetized. So I just on my channel, I think I've only gotten one ever in my life, and I didn't even know I got it. Someone had given it to me before, but those aren't expected. So please, everyone, we're not peddling for those. But thank you for sure. Tan Louie, GB, I'm guessing that's Great Britain. Good afternoon. Oh, yeah, good afternoon. If it's afternoon, you're definitely from Great Britain, from a cold. Good morning from a cold Ipswich. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Man, it's cold here too. It's super cold. I've been talking about. Actually, it's 0 degrees today, so it's pretty warm. And I'm not saying that to be funny. Literally 0 degrees right now feels so warm. It's crazy how that works. Kathy Wood, how are you this morning? Lisa Trimble, hey Lisa. Robert Hull. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Thanks, Robert, for coming in. Cooler by the lake. How are you doing, James, brother? It's good to see you. Haven't seen you it feels like I haven't seen you in a week, but I'm sure it was just been a day. Kathy, how are you today? Debbie Blair, Sarah Paisley. I don't know why I'm hurrying. I'm in no hurry to get anything done. Got a couple stories, got some shit I want to comment on. So yeah, it's crazy. Debbie Blair. Hey Sherry, how's it going today? Hope you're having a great morning. I seen something you commented somewhere and I wanted to respond to that. I marked it, so be expecting a response. Diane Reese, thanks for coming in. Katrina, thanks for stopping in this morning. Good morning. Tina, what happened to it? I just sworn I just seen a Tina. Oh, Alois Van Zal, how's it going? Heidi, Robert, Beta, how's it going, Beta? And I'm at the end, but I could have sworn I seen a Tina. Well, if there's a Tina out there, good morning. Thanks for coming by today. Oh, Auntie Monkey Pants. So funny. Okay, I don't know why it's funny every time I read it. Yeah, Tommy had to go to the doctor this morning, so that he's on his way back from that. He's okay. I don't know much about what his doctor things was, but I'm sure he will tell us what's going on. So last night I tried to set up my where is it? I tried to set up So I have a decent camera. It's just a ProStream Logitech, right? But it's not a bad camera. You guys can see me clear. But I have a bunch of GoPros like this, right? That are 4K, 5K. And I use them for time lapse recording when I'm doing tattooing or if I'm at a convention. I record my stuff at the tattoo conventions. So I have these things laying around. Well, I had read that you can connect it to your PC as a webcam. And so I downloaded the app and I run Windows 10 on everything just because it's an easier shell to work with than Windows 11, I think. But Windows 10 support's about to run out and I'm going to be hit. So I'm just going to have to either get like a server software with NT with like NT workstations for everything. Anyways, I hooked it up to my computer to be a webcam so I could get a crisper picture. And it worked really good, but and I have different lenses for this. So, you know, it can be a wide lens or a narrow or a linear or a horizon. It's got all these like different things it can do. But it kept crashing. Like only it would stall and then only like half of it would work. So you would only see like exactly half of me, but then the other half would be frozen. So it was really weird. I don't know how that would even happen, you know, right brain, left brain type stuff, but in a camera. So I don't know. It was driving me nuts. That's how I felt about it. Bye, little goat. Um. So anyway, I got a couple things I want to share. Casper, I shot a short video warning all evildoers. Would love your thoughts on it. Yeah, I would love to see it, share it. If it's on your Facebook or if it's on anything, I can grab it and we can share it here. Or if you just want to share it with me privately, we can do that. That sounds dope. That sounds super dope. Bless you, Crochet super sticker. Yes. Thank you so much. Is there a way to share that? Yes, thank you. See, there you go. Thank you so much. We appreciate everything. But just you guys here watching is paying enough for me and participating, engaging. Just always know that. Always know that. But everything extra is much appreciated. Anyways. Did I already thank Kristen for hers? Yeah, I think I did. I think it was the first thing I did. All right. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate that. Feisty Kitty, how's it going? Thanks for coming in. Debbie Blair. Alexina Phillips, hi. I just tattooed on a Phillips. Guy, him and his wife, they're both last name Phillips. Actually, I need to get a hold of him to set up his touch-up appointment. So that was a nice reminder. Thank you. Here, what is Alois saying? Good afternoon, Casper. Going full political today, sending South African weather. It's the best. Man, I bet you it is. I bet you it is. Did I ever tell the story about my South African roommate in Hermosa Beach? I probably told it before, but I'll just tell it again real quick. So I had this South African roommate, and dude, he was cool as a fan. His name was Johan. I think it was Johan. And I can't remember. I've had so many roommates since then, you know, and it's Hollywood. Hermosa, you know, the beach area, Hollywood. But anyways, he owned a furniture store, and this is like the 80s, right? And he loved cocaine. Oh my God, he loved cocaine. And I would always find he'd have like little vials of cocaine. He'd have them everywhere in the bathroom. He just left them out like it was legal. But you know, I wasn't on probation or anything. I'm still 20 years away, or we're not 20, but 15 years away from ever even trying a drug. I never did cocaine with him, but he always did it. But like I said, it was the 80s, and man, he was so cool. But he did coke super cool. So he was probably a normie. You know what I mean? Where he could just drink a beer, do his little snort, give his girlfriend a little snort, and they would just, have fun for the night. Me, when I started doing coke, I would smoke some, snort some, eventually I would shoot some. It just got all bad. So I always I don't know if envious is the right word, but yeah, in a sense, envious that they don't have that addictive gene, because all my problems have come from my life from becoming an addict after my wife was killed. So not an excuse, just that that event was the catalyst that led to my using, and I talked about all that when I did my story. So if anyone missed that, you can catch my story on my channel. I don't think I monetized it, so I'm not like trying to plug a monetization thing. Oh, look who it is. Let's say hi to the lovely Mariana. Say hi, honey. Huh?
I said hi. Sorry, you disconnected from my car.
Oh, okay. Everyone's listening.
Oh. Hi, everybody. I want to tell the whole world what I was going to call and tell you. So.
Did you want to tell me, is something private?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never mind. I'll call you later. I love you.
All right. Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
I guess she didn't want to like participate in the Morning Mayhem Show. I can't think of anything so private that she couldn't say it, but I'll just tell everyone what it is tomorrow. I will too. That's probably why I'm in marriage counseling right now. All right. Who else? Does anyone new show up? Katrina. Did I say hi to Katrina? Your niece gave you that name. That's super cool. Anti-monkey pants. I'm curious, do you have some pants with like a monkey on it? Is that a dumb thing to ask? I mean, she's like, hey, Auntie, ooh, nice monkey pants. Okay, bye, Auntie Monkey Pants. I'm just guessing. Or I don't know. I would love to know like the backstory to that. So feel free to share if it's nothing too personal. What do we got here? Casper, sorry I missed the live yesterday. I did watch the replay with Johnny, then Tommy. I listened to all you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, and we appreciate you guys spreading the wealth. We are like 400 subscribers away from monetization. We have all the hours, so that we got that super fast, super easy. All the hours are there. We just need more subscribers, so that's not really anything you guys can help out with because most of you have already subscribed. So I think I see someone backstage. He's getting ready to come in, so that'll be awesome. And then we'll get to some news stories, and then some other things I got going on. But yes, we really appreciate you guys watching everything. It helps the channel. You guys are what makes this work, and what gives us an opportunity to spout all of our spoutings. That's what I do. I just repeat a word and make it a different word but the same when I can't think of anything articulate to say, or that's intellectual. So I'll just make up some like pseudo intellectual shit. So hold on real quick. No, I think do you want me to add you to the stage, Tommy? Is that what you're saying? Oh,
there you go.
What's going on? You couldn't add yourself?
No, I was hitting the button. I couldn't add myself, so I was waiting for you. That's why. What's happening? Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think everyone can hear you.
Good. So we need 400 subs. We already went past the hours. That's incredible.
Yeah, yep. We went past the hours to get super chats, and we got past the hours this morning for regular
How about that? So we just need
Yeah.
to. We're going to do that by the end of the day. I honestly, I told Quibbs when I first started that I wanted us to kind of come on here and sort of build it like people build it. But now that we're there, this afternoon I'm going to be doing a show over on Atwood, and I will just pump the Morning Mayhem show over here. We're ready. My back thing was just a problem. And you know what's crazy, man? Just sitting down after coming back, I went and got a shot of Toradol.
Cortisone? Oh,
Yeah.
Toradol.
They gave me the cortisone shot a couple of days ago, which isn't cortisone anymore. I think that's so funny. I said to the guy, I'm like, so what is this, cortisone? He goes, yeah, not the entire time I've been a doctor. He goes, I've never actually given anybody a shot of cortisone. He said, but we still call it that. Everybody calls it that, so we don't. He said, apparently there's 4 different steroids in it. It's a cocktail of like 4 different roids that they give you.
I told someone that the other day. I was like, I don't get cortisone shots. And they were like, what? And they're like, yeah. They're like, no, it has to be. If it's in the back and if it's for sciatic nerve, it's cortisone. I'm like, all right, I'm just telling you, I don't think it's cortisone.
It does something to your face. You get when people take shots of cortisone, you get this. That's a very noticeable thing that happens to your grill. You know what I mean? You start looking like my fiance's ex.
Yeah. Good dig. Good dig. Good dig.
Sorry. It was low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? You kind of have to take it. But I started getting this pain on my right side that was radiating down. So I came here. I was trying to get as fast as I could, and I have Oriental carpets and stuff on the floor, but for the most part, everything in Arizona is a slate or a tile or that kind of floor. And when I sat down, the chair slid, and it's the kind of crap that for any other time would have done nothing, but it moved this far, and me adjusting my body to try to not fall on my ass.
Yeah,
dude, it felt like falling off the ladder again, man. It's awful.
Did you see that I removed the Jack Daniel's bottle?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's classy. I love listening to the audience. I'll be really honest with you, man. I think that the reason that the lifeboat is still around, because most of the people that started YouTube with me at the same time, except for the people that hate me, they haven't gone away either. But they also haven't grown, and the people that sort of made it are people that have listened to their audience and opportunity to Moonface says, it's funny. Like, let me see if I can still highlight and do things. I don't know why I couldn't add myself. Yeah, there we go. I knew a guy who sold rock, and his name was Moonface. This dude his face looked like a pie plate, bro. It was perfectly round. It was the strange, and everybody called him Moon or Moonface. And I'm at a bad part in my life, obviously, but I'm at a casino, and I was starting to get the nods while playing poker. So I went outside in hopes of maybe getting a little something I could sniff, like a little Bolivian marching powder. And instead I came across Moonface, and he says, I go, hey man, you got any powder? He says, no, I got rock. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Sell me a rock. You know what I mean? I'll just go crush up a can, hit it in the bathroom. I'll be ready to play poker for an hour or two. So I buy an almond, right, that he's got wrapped up, and he hands it to me, and I start walking away, and I look down, and I'm like, the hell is this? And not only do I know it's not rock, when I taste it, I'm like, this is an almond, man. Like, he chiseled the outside off of an almond. So I turned around, and he's got a good football field and a half jump on me, and I'm not particularly fast when it comes to running. I'm big, but I'm not fast. But he got in his car, dude, and went ying 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 ying. And my run went to a slow walk, got my breath back underneath me, and I went and punched his window out and dragged him out of his car. But it was a Moonface. I saw it and instantly flashed back to the last time I saw old Moon. And sadly, it's not a feel good story, folks, but it was. How do they do?
I'm just gonna share real quick because the viewers can't really see what's behind us because it's a background. So I'm just gonna put overlay real quick.
Sure.
To show
the gun.
Yeah, you're gonna have. Yeah, well, that's fine. You can see I removed the bottle and inserted a gun. Everybody, a tattoo machine. I did add some extra little action lines too. So that's the new and improved.
I like
All
it.
right.
I like it. Listen, what you need to do, Justine, is just talk to your doctor and tell them exactly what's going on with you, because they can always give you a steroid injection shot for your back. They will customize it if there's an ingredient that you have a problem with. There are so many different variations of what they can put together. All of it is basically just the purpose is to make you heal quicker. You know, that's really what they're doing. And this goes over the heads of most people, I promise. But the guys that are juicing in baseball and the guys that are juicing in football, like in the 80s, there was this push where everybody wanted to bench press a car and show them. It doesn't really pay off. The people want to be fast, but you lose your mobility and you lose. So instead, the guys that are juicing are doing it so that if they get injured on Friday, they can play the following Friday. It's not about trying to be the biggest dude in the world. It's about trying to heal really, really quickly. It's about trying to, to be able to, I used to juice when I skied, and skiers don't want to be huge, but they just don't want to be injured. And, that what they're doing basically when they give you that shot is they're giving you a steroid injection.
Yeah.
And steroids, believe it or not, are usually really great stuff.
Well, I wonder what they're going to give me on the 20th. So on the 20th, I'm going in for hip injections again. I'm going to ask them exactly what it is, and then I will share it with the world.
Nice. They have always paid off every time I've done them. So you see this is the explanation for the anti-monkey pants.
Yeah. Did you hear I was asking for it?
Yes.
Yeah. So Casper, I had PJ bottoms with monkeys on them, and my niece thought it was so funny that someone my age was wearing them. Said anti-monkey pants. Everyone laughed and the name stuck. Thank you for sharing that.
What's funny is that so many great nicknames come from the some of the simplest things that we had a guy that we worked with. He was a Mormon, by the way, but a guy that we worked with who would come over to my office, and we were debauchers. I mean, we made a lot of money, but there was, it was like Boiler Room or The Wolf of Wall Street. Like we were just, we were partying all the time, every day. And the kid would come over, and he was a good Mormon guy, and over time, how it happens, he starts breaking down a little bit. But we had this hash oil, and he was like, "Let me try that stuff." And I was like, "Dude, I don't know that this is how you want to get your feet wet." You know what I mean? You're jumping in at the wrong part of this equation. He turned green. He took a hit of it and turned green. And I had a green leather couch at the time, right? And I mean, like the dark British racing green, like MG British racing green. And this dude matched it perfectly. We took a photo of it. My brother was like, "Oh my God, look at the color of him, dude. He matches the couch." So we took out, this was the old days. There was no cell phones. And I actually went and got a camera to take a picture of this dude. And he was holding a big piece of white paper so you could get the coloration. It was awful. But he's green boy. And that was 25 years ago. And I don't know, like everyone on planet Earth, his wife calls him green.
Yeah.
Just one of those quick moments. I'm just tired of my arm hurting. I pulled something a few years back. Pain isn't what it used to be, but I still hurt enough. I get worn out easy. You definitely want to talk to your doctor always, and just communicate. I think the most important thing in the world when you're dealing with pain or you're dealing with anything is that if you're not communicating with your doctor, and like if you're doing stuff, we talk about mental health on here all the time. I have a team of people that keep my brain going. And, as part of that team now, Casper's now a part of my, my circle, and Reese is, but I have a psychiatrist. I have a therapist. In fact, I have two therapists. Two. And and if you don't communicate well with your doctor, fire them. The beautiful thing about doctors is there's a grip of them. They really are. They're everywhere. If you don't get along with your therapist, if you don't get along with your doctor, or if your doctor gives you advice that sucks, get a second opinion. If you think what he or she says sounds dumb, it might be. When my dad had a heart attack in life and had to have open heart surgery. It's terrible. And the doctor took my brother and I and said, "You guys go in and say your goodbyes. Like, this is it." And I mean, like, heavy shit. This is the end. And Johnny and I went in and did our goodbyes or whatever. And the following morning, he was still with us, and they wanted him to get on a treadmill and do a test, like one of those things where you put in your mouth.
Yeah, my dad does them all the time. Yeah,
my uncle who's a doctor, went postal. He's like, "You're gonna put him on a treadmill? Like he had a effing coronary last night. You want him on the treadmill today?" And my uncle's like, "You're fired. And he's like, your brother-in-law would have to fire me. He's like, he just did, I promise. And my uncle, like, he got involved and said, no, we're getting him a doctor. And the doctor that we brought in was like, if they had put him on that treadmill, it would have killed him. Like, it was the dumbest idea ever. But it was, sometimes you have to listen to things that people say and say, what the hell? Had several cortisone shots in the bottom of my foot. Worst ever. Would rather have under my toenails. You're not putting anything in the bottom of my foot. I'm sorry. They would have had to come up with a different plan. I've put needles everywhere. That's just not a place I could stick a needle. I did the palms of my hands. Like, I did a lot of stupid stuff, but I could not imagine do the bottom of my
I've tattooed some bottoms of the feet, and the last one I did, I literally, because we have big rolls of saran wrap, plastic wrap, and I saran wrapped her calf and leg so my chair, the legs split out, kind of like a S chair. Yeah, she was just moving all around and she kept twitching up. So I tattooed Japan on the bottom of her foot.
The word or the
word Japan.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She looked exactly like Barbie. And on the Barbie doll, it says like a Barbie doll. And so on the bottom of the Barbie doll's foot is Japan. So I tattooed Japan on the bottom of her foot. She was super cool, man. She was she didn't pretend to be like Barbie, but she's rolling with it.
Have you ever tried ashwagandha and lion's mane?
Well, have
you ever tried either?
Have I?
Yes.
No. I've never even heard of it.
They're over the counter stuff that you can buy. I have tried both. I think I've tried just about everything at one time or another. I've been really since I stopped doing heroin, I got on this trip of trying to chase down anything in any way that could benefit me in terms of sleep, in terms of pain relief, anything like that. Why would someone want a tat on the bottom of their foot? You can't see it. I would imagine Barbie spends a decent amount of time sitting on like chaise lounges around pools. And
she was that girl. Yeah. She, goes to like Turks and Caicos. She's like that chick. She goes everywhere.
I believe it or not, because I was at the doctor, I don't have a watch on, which doesn't happen to me ever. It's like literally a never kind of a thing that I do. But I came in here and sat straight down. But I got ink on the inside of my palm. I mean, on the inside of my wrist, and that hurt worse than any tattoo I ever had. And I've got them everywhere. Yeah. But that one was. I've got them in the places that people say are I didn't do the elbow, which they say is real bad, but like my armpit, I got my armpits done. But nothing felt like the wrist. Then my back didn't, my side didn't, my foot, my ankle, all that. But that wrist, and it was done by a woman. I kind of feel like she set the needle that deep. I'm not being funny. Like there was a decent amount of blood, more than I'm used to, and it's not like I got a lot of really solid veins in that part of my wrist. Let's just say that years earlier. But I remember when she first started, she did the first part of the. I just thought to myself, "Oh God, this is 15 or 20 minutes of this chick doing this." I wanted to say to her, but it was me and the woman that I was married to at the time, and 3 other women sitting there in a tattoo shop. Right, there's not a guy to be found anywhere. So I'm just sitting there going, right? She's like, doesn't hurt? No, I'm good. No, I'm good. It was horrible. I would never do my wrist again. That was if I could do it all over again, that would be one.
I've done lots of wrists. And my wrists are tattooed, but it definitely is spicy.
Yeah, it's a spot that hurts. I watched a cop in a CO tried to get a tattoo in Terre Haute. And it was funny as hell. He wanted something done on his back that went up to the neck. So it was like his whole back, and it was only going to be about this much that stuck out of the collar. And the dude started there. And he was like, those prison tattoo guns don't hurt like regular tattoo guns anyway. I don't think. No. It's a very different kind of a pain. But he went on the guy's neck and he went, yeah, I'm not doing that. And he was like, you got a line about that long. He's like, it can stay there, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, man. I had never seen anybody tap out on a tattoo. I had never seen anybody tap out on a tattoo.
Oh man, I had the West Coast president of the Hells Angels tap out on his elbow tattoo I was doing.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Wow. Tell that story. You hear this. What was he getting for a tat?
It was just a star. And I did 2 lines and he gave me $300 and was like, I'm good, man. I was like, for real? I was like, yep, I'm done. I was like, all right.
Were you happy to get the cash for free, or did you just want to keep drilling on him and watch him hurt?
Oh, I wanted to keep drilling.
I think I would enjoy that.
People, super cool guy, man. You know, he had a huge ego, but you know, and he was like, you know, can't tell anyone. I tell everybody. Sure, I tell everybody.
Sure. I tell the story on the boat a lot, so I don't know if you've heard it, but there was a guy at Terre Haute that wanted criminal on his forehead.
On the what? You tell it on the what?
On the lifeboat. Nice. Good. Got the horn. He wanted reverse shading. Criminal. He's 22 years in prison. No, he's got a 22-year sentence is what he had to. So it was probably 25 and he had to bring him 22 or whatever. But he had been down like 21 years, 9 months or some shit. Like he was at the end of his sentence. And I'm like, bro, why are you getting a tattoo on your forehead as you're leaving prison? Like, this doesn't make any sense at all, right? And I was riding him like Seabiscuit, just giving him so much shit for so long. And I come in one day and 2 cells down from me, they're drilling on this dude's head. And you can almost hear it like going off of his skull. He gets all the way done. And the only thing he doesn't have is the C. So it says Riminal, but no C on it, right? And he's like, we got to finish this tomorrow, bro. He's like, I'm dying. And it had been hours and hours of this dude drilling on his head. And he's like, yeah, all right, we'll do it in the morning. Between, like, it's prison time, right? So between—
Who said they were dying? The guy getting the tattoo or the guy giving
the tattoo? The guy getting the tattoo said, he's like, I can't take any more of this right now, dude. He's like, I need a break.
I would have
made him
do it.
Yeah, he goes, we'll finish it in the morning. No big deal. Well, a fight breaks out. That's got nothing to do with any of us, but a fight breaks out and we get locked down for 72 hours and it's a minor ass fight. It's like no big deal, but they lock us down for 72 hours and then they toss the place and nobody saw it coming, man. It just wasn't that kind of fight. It was really just sissy stuff, you know, like a swim fight.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But they found the tattoo gun. So,
oh shit.
So this guy's got Riminal on his head and he can't get the tattoo artist to finish it. And he's trying to get every other tattoo artist in the place. And I have the gun, the only one that's in the building. And I'm like, I'm going to give it to this dude. I'm like, but you are not putting a C on that guy's head. I'm like, I will give you this gun. But so he got other guns in there and I'm paying people. I run at a poker table. I'm paying guys. If he offers you $50, come talk to me, dude. He leaves with a Riminal on his head. He's not getting that C.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
And dude, I'm giving him the blues, right? I'm giving him the blues. Like we'd be waiting to go to chow and I'd be singing Michael Jackson and going, you've been hit by you smooth criminal. Yeah. But sadly, I'd like to tell you that he went home without the C, but some homo tattooed him out while I wasn't looking.
Of course.
But it looked awful because the C was like, you really should get your crap done by the same tattoo artist. Don't get all your letters done by one dude and then get the C done by some guy who you met 3 days earlier that you've never seen his work. But yeah, criminal across his forehead. One of the dumbest tats I've ever seen.
Idiot. Yeah. I wouldn't have done it. I would have talked him out of it. Just as I would hope someone would talk me out of it.
Wow. Saw Pete Davidson got $160K he spent and a couple of years getting all his tats removed. Which procedure hurts most? I've never, I can't tell you the removal part. You can?
I am. Yep. In California, we're allowed to do tattoo laser removal in a tattoo shop. You can actually go to Vegas and buy laser tattoo removal machines for like $500.
Shut up.
Yeah. So here's the deal with tattoo removal, and I've done a lot of it. I used to do.
Need to be licensed to do this? It's not a doctor procedure?
No, not in California and not in some other states. Up here, you have to have at least, I think, is a nurse practitioner or an assistant physician. You have to be like an AP or PA or an MP. But in California, you don't. But here's the deal. So how they get you is that they they're saying, yeah, it's going to take like 5 sessions to get,
Right.
remove that, that swastika, whatever it is. Right. And, but that's not true. You can turn it up to get rid of the ink in 1 session.
Snap, 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 snap. That loud ass noise.
Yeah. But look, even when it's turned down, it hurts. So you might as well just do it once and get it over with.
It's not the more you turn it up, it doesn't hurt more when you turn it up.
It does, but not so much to where you can't handle it.
Justify 5 sessions of a smaller amount of pain.
No way. So I was doing tattoo removal at Homeboy Industries in Los Angeles. It's like it's Father Martin. He has it's mostly for Sureños and Mexican gangs. So but they have services, but they also they put they just help people get clean and sober. They remove gang tattoos. They have everyone drop out. And what's that?
What's it called again?
Homeboy Industries.
I effing love that, man.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, but what they also do is this: any prison movie you've ever seen, all the Mexican actors and all the extras are from Homeboy Industries.
No
I
way.
promise you.
Very cool.
Any movie you've seen. Yep. It's super cool, man. They have like a coffee shop there and yeah, it's really neat. I should pull something up.
So tell us about which one hurts more, because you didn't finish that thought and I need to know.
Sorry. Laser removal hurts more.
Way more?
Hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down. But like I said, it's not unbearable. It's not unbearable. But okay, man,
so if a tattoo's a 5, where do we put the laser removal at?
No, I don't want to say double. I don't want to, because double I would feel like you couldn't handle. I would say an 8 or a 9. So close.
It's a good. All right.
Yeah, but here's the deal. It's not a constant. It's a zap. You know what I mean? It's a pulse. So. I can run it across my fingers here and you won't feel nothing. As soon as that laser hits pigment, bam!
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Yeah. But you can run it across blank skin all day long. It doesn't do anything.
I'll be damned. See, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
But it reacts to the pigment. How much
does it cost? What kind of cash are you charging for? Homeboy's probably different, but what does it normally cost?
It's about, I don't know, $350 to $400 an hour.
Damn,
but that's in California. Up here, they're charging $500 to $600 a session, and that session might only be 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Wow. And they're making people come back. So they turn it down way low, and it still hurts like hell. And they're making people do multiple sessions because they're, everyone's trying to get rich off of it.
Yeah, I get it. It's sleazy as hell. And I'll tell you what, it is the business of the future. There's a lot of folks that got tattoo regret.
It's almost I got my tattoo removal to lighten up tattoos to do cover-ups.
Right.
It wasn't even to remove, if someone came in with a gang tattoo and asked me if I'd always do it for free. Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, sit down. Let's get rid of it.
Well, there's a lot of programs out there like that. In fact, I knew a guy that basically had a back piece that was his woman. There was a bar scene and all of this stuff, but every single face on his back piece was his woman. It was crazy. Yeah. So he had a guy going in and swazzying up the whole thing. He was in there putting bolts and all of this stuff so that when he got out, he could claim it was a gang tattoo and get it removed for free. Yeah. I was like, dude, you're stupid, man. Yeah. You're stupid.
Mindy says, sorry, I'm late. Have you seen the Bruce Rivers show yesterday talking about his son's addiction, which led to his death? It's so sad. Yes. And I have it geared up to play today.
I watched probably 10 minutes. It's really hard to watch. I feel so bad for Bruce Rivers, man. This isn't the first time. He's had a rough run, and you know what I mean. It's we look at people that are killing it. We look at people that are successful, and we kind of always it always looks like they don't have problems. You know what I mean? It always looks like they live the perfect life. He's got the, his watch collection and his cars, and, he's very, very successive and got a jet. But it's amazing how fast all of that stuff seems worthless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get to a point where it's, I feel really bad.
I didn't know he was so big in the hip hop, like doing hip hop promotions and things like that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But we might get to that and show a little bit of it, just for the addiction, component of it for the show.
Do me a favor and flash that up on the screen so John can check it out, the new artwork. So because we got about 30 people that weren't here the last time you put it up.
Oh,
the new and improved.
I emailed it to John specifically, but I will flash it up.
Yeah, I dig it. I also did not catch the last live that his son had done. I rarely, look at that. I love it, man. I really do. I love it.
Cool, man. Yeah. It looks cool.
Yeah.
I did that like at midnight last night. Yeah.
I'm telling you, if I live to be 1,000, one of my favorite memories was watching you dash that poor kid's hopes. He did this.
Like,
so look, you know what it was, and you'll remember this. But if you're into Zeppelin, like the Swan Song guy with the wings, that's what he was drawing basically.
Yeah,
was the angel kind of a swan song from Zeppelin with the wings on his back and all that. And it said "Happy Birthday" or something along the banner, and he had my girl's name on it. And he worked on it for 2 days. He's like, "Hey, what do you think?" He's like, "I'm busy. You were reading a book, and then you were working out." He's like, "Man, just take a look at it." All right, let me look at it. I'd make some changes. And he's like, "What? What would you change?" And Casper took the pen and pencil, and in 45 seconds, man, just it looked like it was a completely different piece of art. And he's like, "No, you effed up on the clouds. Look, man, if the sun was coming through," and he starts carrying and he sits down and he goes, "I'm not fucking draw anything ever again. I swear to God, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done."
And as well, he shouldn't be drawing ever again.
He should not. He tattooed. He was the one that put the Texas backwards on Spooner. He put Texas with the panhandle facing in the wrong direction.
Right.
So then to cover it up, to say I'm not stupid, he put one on the other side on his shoulder blades. So he's got Texas on both shoulder blades with the panhandles facing each other.
Yeah.
Miss me with that crap. Like another one, just great. This guy's got California on his arm. He's a bank robber. And we're in the county jail. And he's done it like it's in color. It's like the never-ending summer kind of, the pastels and the beautiful, like it's a beautiful tattoo. But California's backwards. And I said to him, I go, "The hell is that on your arm?" And he goes, "It's a tattoo of California." And I go, "It's backwards." And he goes, "Well, it's
like it was literally like,
yes, like they did it the wrong way." So So now it's facing like the part that jets out into the Pacific is now jetting out into the United States of America,
jetting out into Nevada,
into the continental U.S. And I said to him, and he goes, "Well, I did that because the state's backwards." No, you didn't. I'm like, miss me with that shit, bro. Like, honestly, we're all friends here.
Yeah, I don't like the politics there.
The guy put it on your arm before he tattooed and said, "You cool with this?" And you went, "Uh-huh."
Yeah.
I should say.
Well, he probably looked at it in the mirror and been like, "Oh yeah, that's perfect."
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? That is probably what happened. He probably looked at it in the mirror.
I know it's what happened. Yeah.
Dude, I've seen some horrific. I told you the other one that was great. It was on the side of his dome. It said Mitchell. And I go, "Is your son's name Mitchell?" He goes, "I don't have a kid." And I'm like, "Then why did you tattoo Mitchell on the side of your head?" And he goes, "It says Michelle." And I said, "Trust me, it doesn't." And he goes, "Well, you could spell Michelle that way." I said, "You could spell Michelle B-O-B. Whatever makes you happy, brother. But it says Mitchell on the side of your head, dude." And this is no joke either, right? How about Modesto's Finest? I know a guy that got tattooed on the side of his head, Modesto's Finest. And at a distance, you would swear on everything you loved it said Molestos.
Molestos, yeah. Yeah, because the D probably doesn't. Yeah.
He did it so bad that, and I mean, I'm waiting. I just kept saying to people, I'm going to store, I'm buying extra coffee, like all this stuff, because I know this guy's going to stab him. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of time. The whole yard is calling him Molesto's finest.
Oh my, I'd freak out.
At some point, he's gonna snap. It's kind of a tough tattoo to wear around, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, we could probably do 6 weeks on bad tattoos. I don't know if you remember.
Oh man, I have so many stories. Yeah.
You know, you probably have more than I do, and I remember some bad ones. My favorite of all time is Scared for Life. He had right here, like this whole piece that went right under his collarbones, Scared for Life. And we're lifting weights, and I go, "What are you scared of?" He goes, "Nothing." And I'm like, "Then why did you tattoo Scared for Life on your chest?" He goes, "It says scarred." No, no, it doesn't. And I'm like, "How long have you had that tattoo?" Swear to God, 3.5 years. I said, "And no one has mentioned to you that says Scared for Life?" And he goes, "No, because it says scarred." I go, "Okay." And I went and got him a dictionary, looked it up for him. I'm like, "Yeah, you no, it does not."
And you know what? Scared. That's one of those words. Even like I know how to spell scarred, right?
Right.
But it's one of those words that if I'm going to tattoo it on someone, I'm going to look it up just to make sure.
I said this.
I do it all the time. Yeah, I do it. I know how this word is spelled. Just want to double check. Yeah.
How about all of the people that get the Japanese lettering and stuff on them?
Yeah.
Dude, you realize none of that ever says what people think it does. There's a website you can go to where like real, Chinese speaking, Mandarin speaking people will look at it and go, "You just ordered a number 5 at Louis." You know what I mean? It doesn't say anything about love and respect.
And I promise you, all the little Japanese kids and Chinese kids aren't getting English words tattooed on them or symbols
no, they're not. No, they're not. They're laughing at us. Other countries have got to think we're just the that's it's racial appropriation. You're not supposed to do that anyway.
Right. Right.
That's considered bad juju. Nana of 2. Thank you so much, by the way, for the support. And I just noticed that was a super sticker.
Yeah. Yeah.
I go away for a couple of days and Casper actually turns this thing into a YouTube channel. I've always wanted to get a tattoo, but the pain I couldn't handle. I wanted my parents' initials with heart and my grandkid's name. I'm 65 now, so it probably won't happen. Nonsense. It's never too late. And I promise you, the pain is
my mom got her first tattoo at 74.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that got tattoos over 60. Tons. And I
didn't do it. She didn't get it from me.
The pain isn't what you think. I promise you it's not. In fact, ask anybody that has a tattoo, and they will tell you, 9 out of 10 of them are going to tell you they like the pain. They dig it. They groove to it. It's something that they enjoy. This is what
I tell all my scared customers, because I do a lot of first timers, right?
Right.
I always tell them, I'm like, especially if it's like a kid that seems kind of tough or a girl that's like tough or whatever. They don't even have to be tough, but just I always say, think of all the people in your life that have tattoos that you're stronger than, like stronger willed, stronger, you keep your cool, just think about all those people.
That's a really cool way to put it, man.
And they always be like, "Oh yeah." And then once I start, they're like, "What?"
That's it.
That's it. And then a lot of times, at least 4 times a month, because they work themselves up so much, they'll turn like a green and pass out. I get like 4 pass outs a month.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
their
incredible.
Blood sugar drops. It's something weird because that's why the health department makes us have candy on deck. So when they pass out, we feed them candy if they can. They're usually kind of nauseous too. But we give them candy.
Start getting that stuff all over it. When I rode ambulance, we used to have this stuff that looks like in a toothpaste tube. And you would take it and put it on the inside of your finger and rub it on the inside of people's gums. We used to call it the Jesus cure.
Yeah.
Because you'd go to a restaurant and it would be a blood sugar thing and everyone's panicking and the guy's on the ground and it looks like they're going to die. And you get in there and it's the God cure. You step back. And thank you so much.
Tell Johnny I said hi.
With the hookup. Yeah. Casper says hello. See, now I can hide that woman's name on my wrist and I can put that, see that? Now I can get that watch.
Nice.
That was the perfect spot for it. As long as I got the watch on. What do you think about Democrats losing their minds over Doge?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot to say about it. And they're just sad that they're not going to be able to earmark all their corruption and all their little pet projects and or send 20 million, give their niece 20 million, like we talked about yesterday, to go film a play or direct a play in Abu Dhabi or whatever.
Yeah, I lost 70 subs on the lifeboat yesterday after bringing up politics. And you know what? They can let the door catch them on the way out, because I'm not talking about. I'll tell you what. Believe it or not, the number of Republicans losing their mind over what Donald Trump is doing right now is pretty damn close to the number of Democrats, because they've been doing the same thing. The truth is that regardless of which party you're coming in on, we're going to watch. This has been channeled to the families. The nepotism and the hooking up of friends and the pork barrel bullshit has been going on both sides of the aisle since there was an aisle.
Exactly.
Yeah, since there was an aisle. In fact, what's crazy is they'll get together. Whenever you hear bipartisan, all it means is that they're ripping us off together. Right? Yeah. Instead of them getting their project and them getting their, they're going to get together and rip us off together.
I do love those Republicans, and there's a few like John Kennedy, RFK. Like, there's a few that I truly believe they're in there for the people, man. You know what I mean?
There are definitely politicians that believe. The problem becomes that I think over time, it's like anything else, man. Over time,
that's a true statement.
You have to sell your soul. And you have to, because here's what's going to happen. You get into office and you really want to be the real deal. So Casper gets elected. He's making a couple of $100,000 a year because that's all they pay him. And he's not he's not having guys set up political action committees for him. He's not taking bribes. He's not doing what everyone else does legally. He's not working with all of the, the different agencies that are writing bills for him. But he gets a bill that means the world to him. And it's got something to do with protecting children or whatever. And he needs one flipping vote to make this thing work. But in Washington, needing one vote doesn't mean you talk to somebody and tell them how much this means to you and how much it means to your constituents, because that's BS. That happens in movies. What you do is you cut a deal and you say to them, all right, look, the next time you need a vote, I'm going to give it to you because this has got to go. And the next thing you know, you're compromising something that you absolutely don't believe in because you cut a deal to get something made. And that's the best case scenario. Right? The worst case scenario is not that you gave up a vote. You said to them, I'll let you earmark chemical testing on animals or something onto a bill, because those earmarks that just keep stacking up. When someone writes a bill for $5 million and it's $1 billion by the time they sign it, it's because they got to pay off all of those people. I'm glad someone is auditing our government. It's never happened. How's that for an answer? We've never had a friggin' audit. You know what I mean? I audit the lifeboat twice a year and we're this big.
And we have someone doing it that is one of the richest men in the world. And I'm not talking about his business acumen. I'm talking about he has no skin in the game. Like, he's not going to do something that's going to benefit him. I believe that in my heart of hearts. He doesn't need to make an extra $100,000 or even 10 million. He doesn't need to.
Because the truth about it, folks, once you get, when a person gets to that level, they go through a crisis of life that none of us are ever going to experience. You have it all. You got enough cash, right? You can live wherever you want. You can do whatever you want. And now death is running towards you at a rate you can't explain. All you're thinking about is the fact that you're going to leave this planet. He's had a crap load of kids. And this is a guy that is going to take a massive hit. If this doesn't make sense to you, then you're not bright. And I'm sorry. But if you decide that you're going to get in politically, you're cutting half of the people that like you on earth instantly. That's a hit for anybody that gets into politics, because Elon Musk was universally loved before he decided to go after the Democrats. He took half of the people that loved him and decided that he was cool with them hating him. The same thing happened. People go, you know how much money Trump's making? He killed himself business-wise. This was not a great going into to be the president. He can't cut ribbons anymore. He can't do anything anymore that he did. You can't just show up places. For the rest of your life, you become a president or a vice president or any of that. Kamala Harris isn't going to be getting in the car to drive to 7-Eleven today to go pick stuff up. Right? For the rest of your life, you got an armed crew of people that take you everywhere. You couldn't hand me that job. I promise you, I wouldn't want it. It would be cool to stay in the White House. There'd be some perks that would be fun. A couple of countries I'd like to slap around. But you talk about just effing up the rest of your life. God help us. Do you know that nobody that was coming to Washington, D.C. for any political event could stay at anything owned by Trump? What do you think that did to business? What do you think? Or New York. So all the people that come to for the United Nations have to stay someplace other than a Trump building.
Yeah. And how about just the guy loves to play golf every day? Now he doesn't get to do that. And he
entire golf course to do it.
He doesn't need a job. He doesn't need a job. And I might be wearing this MAGA hat, but I'm not like a super Trump supporter. You know, my wife found this hat, and I you know, I was like, hell yeah, I got a
knocked
MAGA
off
hat.
the head of an old Trump voter. People get really pissed off about those hats. I love this channel. It keeps my mind off my pain problems at least a couple hours a day. So thank you both. Nana of 2. Nothing in the world makes me happier than the thought that we're taking your mind off of it. And I'm not joking either.
Yeah, we both experience pain. Tommy more than me right now, and so we feel you. And I'm going to put you on my pain prayer list.
Nice. And I'm really hoping that we switch that. I'm hoping that within the next couple of days, I get back to where Casper's feeling more pain than me. If we're doing that teeter-totter thing, I always want you on the top, brother. Always.
Yeah. I've always been a top. I've always been a top.
You know what's funny? This freaked me out. Like when you said earlier, we have money enough to do super chats. This is all brand new. When I started the Lifeboat, it didn't work like that. So you got monetized or you didn't get monetized. There was nothing along the way. And this is a much better system, by the way. This makes way more sense. This can keep people in the game who wouldn't, you know, when we started the Lifeboat, you had to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time within the first 12 months, or you were a host. That was it.
It had to be in the first 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or within 12.
Really, really different. Yeah. Within a 12-month period. So it could be any fiscal 12-month period, but you needed to, and you know, what's funny is that, for people like us that come out and go live and do content like this isn't hard. For people to put up videos, it's a much more difficult thing. And back then you couldn't go live. Yeah. You couldn't go live till you had 1,000 people. That was So that's really crazy. Got hard, man. You know why the Lifeboat got monetized? Because the crew of the Lifeboat, I didn't ask. I mean, they went nuts. People were just watching videos around the clock, and you know, there were people sending me emails. I got 9 devices on. You know, I called my girlfriend. She's got 4, and they would just had them on a loop. You know, it was like, it's funny too, because when you go in the back and you look at all of the statistics of the channel, you know, it did this number, and then it falls straight back off the cliff.
No, but that's cool, and YouTube knows people do that, and it's fine. You know what I mean?
No, it really.
They don't like you buying subscribers, though. No way.
Well, you know something. Like, here's the funny thing. People make a big deal about this. You'll hear people accuse people of buying subscribers all of the time, just so that you guys kind of get an idea of the amount of BS that the average person throws out. What do you think it costs if you wanted to buy, say, 100,000 subscribers? What do you think that would cost you? About a couple of $100.
Yeah,
for real. It costs nothing. And the problem becomes this: YouTube isn't gonna do anything for you for that. You get nothing out of that.
Right.
Those people, you don't get paid on them. And they're not going to give you a play button or do any of those things, because the subscribers actually have to be subscribers. And what's really, there are people that do it. I mean, a lot of people do it. But if you're looking at somebody and they got 150,000 subscribers or 250,000 subscribers and they got 3,000 views, so one of two things happened. Right? They either absolutely shit off their entire channel by doing one stupid thing after another. I'm not going to say anybody's names. You know who I'm talking about. Or the other option is you bought your subs.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty cheesy, but it's pretty. The people that you hear people accused of it all the time, if they're monetized, trust and believe they didn't buy subs. You'll get caught. They'll take your channel. Like monetized, it's not an easy thing to actually make this a business. And the people that do, they got no desire to make you think they got more subs. I would rather have 0 subs and 50 million views. The subs ain't doing nothing.
Any day of the week. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, you can also buy views. You want to look cool? You can buy yourself 40 million views. You just don't get paid on them. What the hell the point of that would be?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just plain stupid. That's all that is.
Look at me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a couple things in the hopper to share with everyone. If you want to get to something, or you want to just keep, I can't remember where this was, so I apologize. But I think I'm gonna do it like this. See if we. This guy, they work at a dump, and so they have to sift through trash for some reason, and they found a poor little kitty cat.
Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't. Man, I was like, what the heck? Here, let me figure out a better way to do this. There we go. That's a little better.
And they say,
yeah, but look, watch this. Gets the bag, and he's like, look.
Oh.
Yeah, see, he pulled it right out of the thing.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh? Yeah, thank God, man.
Gets saved. You know, when I lived in Salt Lake City, Utah, there was a guy that put a new in my neighborhood. He put a new addition on his house, and they started hearing meowing, and the guy didn't have a cat.
Yeah,
he's like, so, but to his credit, the dude destroyed half of a wall to get the cat out. It was he called me. He's like, hey, bro, do you have a sledgehammer? I'm like, I have a maul. Like, if you're just looking to break something. And he's like, I got to break my wall. And we went over. He kept the cat. He said, you know, with what this thing cost me, oh hell yeah, I'm keeping this cat. You know, that's
yeah.
But yeah, just imagine sitting on the couch. Meow, the hell is that?
Yeah, cats are smart too. They know when you save them. So that cat probably loved that dude.
You know, it's really weird that you say that because the people. When I went and got Squirrel is a, you know, obviously she's a tortie. On either side of her was like the postcard kitty cats. I mean, like the furry white and, you know, like 3-colored, just perfect. And there was Squirrel looking kind of disheveled and tortied in the middle. But Squirrel looked like she was locked up. I swear to God, like there was something about the cage that was making her really, really unhappy. And the woman said she just doesn't like the cage. And I thought, man, I had just gotten out of one my damn self. You know, I wasn't real fond of that freaking cage either. But she did not meow once. Come here. Come on, Squirrel. She did not meow once on the way home. Not a sound. It was really bizarre. Squirrel kind of seemed to know that she was getting saved. She definitely had a different approach than most of the cats that I've had. All right, what else have we got?
Oh, you remember that story we talked about a couple weeks ago where the rapper chick was suing Lyft?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So she absolutely destroyed it. She found some lawyers like, yeah, we're gonna get them for millions. And she kind of had a case, but she absolutely destroyed her case by going on the Breakfast Club. And I would love to share that with everyone.
Nice. Let's see that.
Let's see.
If you guys don't remember the story, they said that they would not pick her up.
Well, whoop, that's not it. I'll get to that. I'll get to that story too. Possibly.
Handsome guy right there. There's our girl.
Yeah, it'll be the. It tells. I have a clip of the original story also, so it'll catch everybody up.
Yeah, we're good.
I just want to make sure there's sound. Okay, here we go.
Landing tells us she was just trying to get to a Detroit Lions watch party this month when her Lyft rolled up.
As I'm walking, I see him like making faces or whatever. I'm like, oh man.
She already knew.
I can fit in this car.
No, believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe it.
He told her there's not enough room in his car.
The kicker part was when he started to talk about his tires. You know, I feel like that was a slap in the face. That was like my tires, you know, like.
The driver said his tires could not handle her weight.
Every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car.
Yeah, because they need to order.
That is pretty low budget.
Uber XL.
Well,
No, I don't never have to order Uber XL.
You're gonna screw it up, isn't she?
well, I mean, she says every person. I mean, there's not a lot of 500-pound people out there.
That's a really big person. I mean, in the defense, And you know what? This is an issue that is real for a lot of people. The way this guy handled it probably was not fantastic. But no,
it wasn't. But yeah, it wasn't nice the way he handled it. He could have had a little more tact and just been more compassionate about it. Yep. So here's her going on the Breakfast Club, and just look how entitled this chick comes off as, and that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
The Breakfast Club.
Peace, Big Dank. How you?
Morning.
You good?
Good morning.
What's going on? Nice to meet you.
Hi,
How are you?
Stormy? How you doing?
Peace, King. How you, brother? You good? Nice to meet you, King.
Look, that's a big chair she's got right there. But
It's only six y'all got?
What you want? What you need?
A bigger chair or something.
Is she already little?
We had
That's what I'm talking about. Good. This is accommodation.
There you go.
she said, "Good, that's accommodation."
Oh.
So apparently from the reports, her case got thrown out because her lawyers, the Lyft's lawyers spun that around to like, look, she's like, they found out that was an oversized chair that they gave her, and what she needs to be accommodated is way more than that little car was.
To his credit, whether you think the guy was kind or not, he said, "I will send a bigger vehicle." Right? I'll send an SUV, or I'll send something. So if you need accommodations, which is what she just said, there accommodations can be made.
Right, and I think that's the spin that the Lyft's lawyers took, and they threw it out. They dropped the case, and then just for entertainment purposes.
I'm not saying that word.
Well, no, I don't want to do that. That's kind of mean. I won't show that. This was all part of another story. She's rapping and she falls over, and her PR. Oh wait, no, I do want to show this though.
She falls over.
Yeah, she falls over, and she said that her PR people said, oh, she was trying to do a stunt and she didn't land the stunt, and really she was just trying to stand up and she fell over. But
yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't use that word in my house.
Okay. I thought you talking about the gay slur. I'm like, wait, I'm confused.
I'm not. I don't want to. This is. I don't know what that is, but here
She falls on the Breakfast Club.
No. It's at one of her rap concerts. I'll show it. It's just where I picked up the clips from was not Ben Shapiro, the guy who made the Racism in America and the gender movie.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Is it Mark? Yeah. Okay. But anyway, here she has her doctor come on, and I just want you to listen to what this doctor says.
I work on myself, and when I feel like I'm getting too much, I try to fix it, like at my pace, but
Yeah, and we have weight specialists right here.
Fix her a weight specialist. Fix her mic.
And what's your name, ma'am?
Stormy.
Stormy.
Stormy Anderson.
Stormy gonna get it right.
Dr. Stormy.
Thank you.
One time, when you have these conversations with plus size people, it always comes up that, everybody that's big isn't unhealthy, and some people just can't lose the weight. They're dealing with issues like she has a thyroid. What do you talk to us about that?
So
She has a thyroid.
for a little over 3 months.
Yeah.
Right. She's lost.
I have something to say about that.
Your 80 pounds gonna look different from her 80 pounds, right? Because she started at 580. So even with her being at 500, people be like, she's still not losing, but that's not the case. Well, her thyroid makes it very difficult for her to lose weight because her hormones is unbalanced. So when your hormones is unbalanced and they're all over the place, it controls a lot of things, and it makes it very difficult to lose weight, but keep it off as well. So I think for her, she's consistent because she done lost 80.
So here's the deal. I have a thyroid problem. I take a thyroid pill, and I've been 300 pounds before, but I was 300 pounds, and I know everyone's different. I'm trying to get, here we go. I know everyone's different, but I got 300 pounds because I was eating like a
I got to 287. That's the closest I ever got to 3 bones.
And my thyroid made it hard for me to lose the weight because I was lazy and I was eating too much. I was eating donuts and Pepsi for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I got big. And my doctor's like, he's like, look, he's like, I don't let any of my patients blame their thyroid for being overweight. And he's like, neither are you. And I was like, I go, isn't this my thyroid? He's like, were you heavy before this? Because I've always had a thyroid issue. No. And I was like, no. And he's like, well, what's changed? I was like, yeah, my eating, and I'm not active. You know, I just got out of treatment. I was eating literally bowls of Fruity Pebbles with 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream in it every night. Oh, nice. That's what I was eating. And then for breakfast, I was eating chocolate donuts with a 24-ounce Pepsi. That was my breakfast.
Yeah, it's just super unhealthy. I got a job. I got sober. I put down the needle, and I got a job working at I was head of the staff cafeteria for the cops. So all the food was real. I wasn't eating any of the crap that the inmates were cooking. And I had 3 black dudes that worked there that were all owned restaurants on the street. And I went and found them. I brought them in. They were excellent chefs, and I hooked everything up, but I got to eat whatever I want. And I never ate prison food. And I got so big so fast, it was insane because I wasn't working out either. I was eating. And I worked like 4 hours a day, but I worked it so that I would get in there just eating whatever breakfast they were cleaning up. And I would catch lunch and bring home 2 dinners. So it was like a short little window of time, but it was all eating. And I ballooned up so fast, it was crazy. And I don't get, like, I got pictures of me, and I don't look remarkably different at 280 because I'm a weird. The way I get big is just like my fingers, everything just gets bigger. My wrists, all of it. But I was unhealthy. My problem with weight is what it does to my skeletal system. Like right now, I'm 10 pounds heavier than where I should be. Well, actually, I'm about 7 now. But I'm going to lose. I'm going to get down to where I was when I was at where I could move the best, because I'm not healthy in terms of skeletal shit. So the better I am, the better off I am.
Yeah. And
500 pounds. That's, I hope. And I say this.
I showed that to say this too. Is like, I knew this in high school. I had a friend, Annette. She got picked on, but she was my neighbor, and we were friends like most of our lives. And I used to stick up for her all the time. And, but her whole family was huge. You know what I mean? Like you've seen families like that where everyone in the family is huge. And I used to think, genetics, it's this genetics. And there is something to that to an extent. But when she moved out of her parents' house, she lost all that weight.
Yeah. Started eating different.
She started eating different. And she she was real upset with her mom and dad. She really blamed them for a lot of her trauma, being bullied and stuff for a long time. And I had to talk her off that cliff too, and finally they're doing okay. But I didn't show this story to shame anyone. It's just more that that woman, she thinks needs to be a protected class.
Yeah, entitled. And there was a big case about this where somebody sued the airlines because the airline said you have to buy 2 seats. And number one, I feel horrible for anyone who struggles with weight because currently the people that are manufacturing food are actually hiring scientists to try to make it more difficult for the people who are eating the processed foods. It really is, you're fighting against science. The food these days is engineered to make you feel good when you eat it and then crash shortly thereafter, driving you to want to eat more. And it has created a culture where more than half of the people in America will be obese by 2030, more than 50%. And it's because so many people use food as a way to feel good. The good news is that, like anything else, literally like anything else,
Jesus died for our sins.
Yeah, you're coming back. Yeah, you're coming back to the same problems over and over again. We are all literally in the same boat, and it doesn't matter whether that boat you got in there because you're eating or gambling or snorting or shooting. It's always the exact same thing. Yeah, I love that.
Same boat.
It
I'm
is
gonna try
the
to
same
play
thing
that
every
whenever
time.
you say boat.
You know that they say the opposite of addiction is connection, and that we know that this is a fact. But so is the opposite of obesity. I promise you. People who really struggle with weight isolate, and the bigger they get, the more they isolate. Then they feel bad and they feel shame, and the whole process begins. It's a never-ending loop, and then sadly it spirals down and out of control. This is, believe it or not, folks, a beautiful way to start the process of connection. Ideally, we would all go to clubs 4 times a week, and we would have tons of friends, but we don't really live in that world anymore. So there's a little group of channels that provide connection because of how they do content. And I hate to make this an infomercial for our channels, but for God's sakes, it really has changed the lives of so many people. Connection is a huge
in my life.
It's a massive,
It's changing. My therapist told me yesterday, she's like, you seem so happy. She's like, I haven't seen you like this in 2 years. And I was like, so I started talking about the channel, and she's like, well, keep doing it. If it's, I'm like, oh, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it until
proves this. The crazy thing is, if it was just an ex-convict and his ex-convict friend coming on here and talking about this, but we know for a damn fact, look at that. RFK just confirmed there is hope for our food supply. You know what's funny? This is another great example.
He's on it too. This
guy's not a Republican. This guy's not a Republican. Nobody hated this guy until he wanted to work for a Republican. And now everybody, everybody rises up to hate him. If we are that team oriented of this right versus left, this red versus blue, you do know that when we were born, that didn't exist. We allowed them to do this to us. There was no such thing as red and blue. That came out when what's his name was Speaker of the House. I can't think of his name. He's got
Newt Gingrich.
Newt Gingrich. Thank you. This all started with Newt Gingrich as Speaker of the House. This is a true story. Look, Republican, Democrat. That guy's a Republican, right? He would go to C-SPAN, and he found out that at night C-SPAN didn't turn their cameras off. They would leave the cameras on in the room filming.
Yeah,
there's no reason
I remember.
to stop. It's just a live feed. So he started going there and acting like the room was filled. And he started doing these 2 and 3 hour diatribes, and people started watching, and they assumed he was making these huge speeches. But that started this whole right versus left, red versus blue, and it has been a very ugly process ever since. We're all red, white, and blue. We all bleed the same color, and we all need to connect. Yep. The things, if you hear somebody bring something up and that thing isolates you, if the thing that the person's bringing up says, I'm different than you are, they're not moving in the right direction, I promise you. All of the things that make us the same, those are the things that we should be concentrating on. I talk to people that are addicted to heroin, and it's really funny because I talk to them in Russia, and I talk to them in every single place on planet Earth, and there's not a damn bit of difference between what they go through and what we go through. The verbiage is different because they're not talking about fixing and doing but it's all the exact same stuff. We're the same creatures, people. We really are. It's pretty sad. And you're right. I find it horrifying what they allow in foods in the States, stuff we wouldn't even allow in pet foods. RFK Jr. won't help. Well, that's a nice attitude, Jess. I'd like to believe that he's going to. And I'd like to believe that the concept of none of this is ever going to changes in 2025. I think we've all been very, very comfortable with the nothing's going to change attitude. And you know what? I think it's on us here. It's on us. If we bitch about something, but we do nothing to stop it, then we're probably not moving in the right direction. But I wholeheartedly believe that as a world culture, we're sick and tired of the BS. I think we're sick and tired of people with a ton of money taking advantage of people who don't have money and using power and corruption and greed as the game plan for the day. I don't see it continuing. But I'm a stupid optimist. I really am. But this is something that he's passionate about, and I believe they're going to give him some power to do it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
So down in Colombia, the Colombia's president, I don't know if you've seen this come across any of the things you've been watching, but he's got a debate where cocaine is just like whiskey. And so he's trying to legalize it. It actually is better for your body than whiskey, but so the Colombian president Gustavo Petro's statement comparing cocaine to whiskey is the kind of bold remark that gets global attention. His argument, if we regulate alcohol, why not cocaine, has sparked a mix of intrigue and outrage. While pure cocaine may not have the same immediate health effects as alcohol, its potential for addiction and the crime networks surrounding it make it far from apples to apples comparison. Legalizing cocaine might weaken cartels, but history has shown, and this is my little 2 cents, history has shown that organized crime adapts quickly, whether it's drugs, human tea, or who knows, smuggling illegal cheese. And that's just it. If tomorrow they made sharp cheddar cheese illegal, I promise you there'd be sharp cheddar cheese coming across that border. Do you know Absolutely. What I mean? They adapt. When they legalized weed, what started coming over more than anything really was meth and then now fentanyl, because and I don't understand the whole fentanyl thing. Like I've heard you diatribe about it before in a way that I think should be heard all over the world. Is that
it's designed to kill.
It's designed to kill.
It is.
And
it's absolutely a weapon.
What dealer or trafficker or whoever would want to kill off their customers? It makes no sense.
No, you back off, right? If you're pressing pills and the pills are killing people, you back off. Now, if you're a real scumbag, right? And this was done all the time back in the day when a person who was selling, H to New York City, knowing full well that, tens of thousands of people are doing your stash, they would intentionally kill a couple. And the idea was that it's great advertising when they go on the news and say, whatever you do, don't buy the stamp.
Need to do that.
Don't buy the stamp that has the blue moons on it. That stuff's dangerous. And of course, you're going, hey, you got that blue moon stuff, right? So they used to do stuff like that.
I did it all the time.
But right now, 60% of what's coming across the border can kill you. Normally, that's bad business. You want, especially with a drug like this. It's not like other drugs. If you have it in your head that, oh, I know a drug dealer. I go see him, once every 2 months and I pick up or I go see him once a week and I pick, if you're addicted to H, you see your dealer 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Right? And that's 365 days a year. They don't shut down on Christmas. In fact, they give out free bags on Christmas. They don't shut down for any reason ever. It literally never stops.
When I was dealing H, I had my morning routine. I had 5 people I would go see when, like at the height of it. I mean, I sold way more than to 5 people. What I mean, at the height of it, where I was like on routine, I would hit up my little call girls, in Hollywood. They did nude massages, and I would make sure I would, and if I was late, they counted on me being on time there. You know what I mean? Because that's the way that drug works.
Yeah. If you're
like what you're just saying. And if I was 10 minutes late, my pager was getting destroyed. 911, 911, 911,
now,
911.
In defense of the cocaine is like whiskey argument, though. When they start talking about crime and drugs, what makes the stuff valuable is that we make it illegal, right? We make it illegal and all of a sudden it's worth a fortune. If cocaine was legal worldwide, it would probably cost a couple of dollars a gram. And because it's not, the production would become, it wouldn't be farmers carrying backpacks trying to sneak. It would be large scale production of this drug. And if you're just doing this on a pure scientific, I'm anti-drug, I promise you. But if you're doing this on a pure scientific thing, 3% are going to kill themselves, right? That's it.
Yeah.
3% are gonna crash and burn. They're going to end up in prison. They're going to end up dead. They're going to do whatever they got to do for the drug, whether the drug's $100 a gram or $3 a gram. The only difference is that a lot of people are getting rich on the 100 a gram, and then while they're bringing it across, they may as well bring 6 or 7 14-year-old girls. Because you're smuggling. There's no reason not to bring them across too. The problem becomes we establish routes. And those routes used to bring blow. They don't really smuggle blow into the United States anymore. Believe it or not, folks, it comes, but nothing like it used to. It's it's hard to get real, no joke, made in South America cocaine in the United States. And I know people are going to go, I can get it wherever. More than likely, there's so little cocaine in what you're buying, it will blow your mind. Cocaine isn't yellow anymore. It's very, very white. And most of it is made in a laboratory because it's cheaper for them to make it in a laboratory in China and then send it to Mexico and drive it across the United States, into the United States, than it is to manufacture it and smuggle it from South America. Way cheaper. And it does the same thing. The only difference is you can put it in an oil burner or a meth pipe, depending on how you look at it. And you don't have to, you can basically smoke it like it's crack without having to rock it up. It's a designer drug that they call cocaine now. And the pink, like the Tucci is the same way. The stuff that they're always talking about, Diddy having Tucci, pink coke, no coke in that, right? Almost none. It's MDMA, which means it's speed with a little bit of monomethylamine or whatever else they're cutting in there to give you that kind of a euphoric thing. Yeah. But it's the world has changed very, very seriously in terms of chemicals. You know, we were recreational drug users. Those days you can't be a recreational drug user anymore. That's not, and I know it's an obnoxious term, but people did use drugs recreationally. You know, we'd get a little something to go out on a Friday night. These days, the supply is so dangerous. The stuff that's on the street, if it's powdered, you can't do it. It's just that simple. It's going to have fent in it. If you're lucky, it's going to have fent in it. Now it's more likely to have nitazene, either phyto or isonitazene, and that's just killing people. But of course he wants it legalized. It's his number one cash crop.
I know. I was thinking while you were talking, Right? If the globalists decided to make soybeans illegal, our president would be on a soapbox right now going, legalize soybeans.
That's right. They're not any worse for you than any other bean. The truth is that they're probably right in terms of the damage that it does to the body, but that's comparing like an apple to an apple. You sit down, you do 6 shots, and I snort 1 line of pure blow. The difference is going to be a lot harder on your body than mine. The trouble becomes that blow, if you've never done it, has a very, very short window of buzz. Believe it or not, it doesn't keep you high very long. It's very, very short. So you snort it, you go straight up. And the problem is this is where you started. So you go straight up and then you come straight down. And you're not really even where you started. So you got to do more blow to feel high. And eventually, 2 or 3 days in, you're doing mountains of blow to try to get back to where you started. Because you're so low, you've dropped your baseline to a point. And so there is a real potential for abuse. But it's always going to be 3% are going to check off the planet either by going to prison or death. And then 17% are going to screw their life up. And 80% are going to be normal as shit. Go to work. You're never going to know they did blow the night before. They don't have a problem. They do it with friends. They invite some people over, whatever. It's just like anything else. You know, 80% of drinkers, 80% of snorters, 80% of people that do everything do it responsibly. I don't know any of them, but that is the statistics.
I don't either.
And to find the people like Casper. No breaks, folks.
No breaks.
The no breaks society.
My therapist said, "You're not an addict. You're an adrenaline junkie." I was like, "Okay, I feel like an addict."
Happy. Yeah, whatever makes you happy. I have issues. What's going on in the chat? Salty dog. It's just one of those things that makes me happy. So let's talk about Voldemort real quick. Because there's some fascinating stuff going on with this. This is the most misreported thing out there. You're lucky that you know Casper and I, a couple of dirty convicts, because they did not drop the case against Jay-Z. Everybody can stop saying that crap. The deal, everybody said it was settled, and I said, look, if they really dropped it, then she got paid. They didn't drop it. That's not what happened. So there's been a bunch of little filings, and the little filings removed some people off of paperwork. For instance, they're no longer suing Bad Boy Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the attorneys took a look at this and went, so how's Bad Boy on the hook for this one? This wasn't a Bad Boy party, right? Maybe he was at a party that was an after party that had nothing to do with Bad Boy. But whatever, they came to the conclusion that, and this happens all the friggin' time. Like when you sue from prison, you put down the captain, the warden, the head of the BOP, the guy that runs it in Washington, and eventually they're going to go, yeah, your beef is only with the cop that did this to you, and they're going to throw everybody else's name off of it. But to cover your ass so you don't get there and have a judge go, how come you didn't sue everybody else? Go back and do it again. They list everybody. So now Bad Boy is off. Bad Boy is no longer being listed, but the lawsuit is still pending. And what he is accused of hasn't changed. 13-year-old girl accuses him and Diddy and Voldemort and a third party that we do not know of, a female that witnessed what happened. There is no chance in hell this ain't going to court. If it doesn't go to court, then we win. If they say this is not going to go to court, it doesn't mean that Voldemort won. He lost. That, you get it? There's no celebrating for him on this. If this doesn't go to court, it's because he paid this woman a scary amount of money. And as far as the world will all realize, that's an admission of guilt. Now, it didn't have to be. It didn't have to be. You could have come out in the very beginning and said, you know what, man, these accusations happen all the time, and I'm not dealing with it. I didn't touch this girl. She wants a settlement, fine, right? I'm not dealing with it, whatever. This happens all the time to rich people. That's a statement people make all the time. We settle suits every day because it's easier than dealing with the BS. But you came out and made a statement where you said, you're a friggin' ambulance chaser in a cheap suit, a 1-800 lawyer, and you think because of how salacious this story is, I'm going to settle? Well, you guessed wrong, because I ain't giving you a red cent. In fact, blah, 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 blah. Right? Yeah. He wasn't taking none of this shit. He got gangster on him. He didn't just say, no, he got gangster. And instead, he looks like a blithering idiot if by some chance he settles. What do you think about microdosing? My husband is a VP at Microsoft and has several employees.
Really?
Do you mean microdosing on acid or on mushrooms? What are they microdosing on? Because
I'm guessing mushrooms. I'm guessing mushrooms. That seems to be the corporate microdose.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Which is similar.
Yeah. So in both cases, you're dealing with what we call a dissociative drug. These drugs get you wasted to the point where you start to disassociate from reality, from yourself, right? So these are, the street folks will call them trip drugs because you're tripping on them, but it's just another word for a dissociative drug. Now, lysergic acid, right? The LSD is going to cause you to release just about every chemical you got in your brain at the same time, is kind of how the buzz happens. This is why if you do LSD on Monday and you try to do LSD on Tuesday, you don't get the same effect. It's not like you can just keep going back and doing it, because you've shot through most of your brain chemicals, and your body has to kind of get everything stocked up so you can do it again. If you do acid 5 or 6 days in a row, by day 6, you're doing 50 hits to try to feel it. It's a very unusual drug. Now, as far as microdosing it goes, I don't have a lot of experience with it. I always did the heroic thing. I know some people that used to take quarter hits because they liked it as sort of an energy kind of a thing.
Some of my customers microdose mushrooms. One of them swears by it, but I think he's just swearing by it, just to say, yeah, it's badass. But the other 3 people that I can think of off the top of my head say that they don't feel anything. They don't feel like they're brighter, or that they think better. But with them, they're ex addicts, or they're still ex, but they're ex abusers. And so I tell them all, I'm like, you don't feel anything because you want to get high. You're waiting to get high, right. But you're trying to convince yourself that I'm doing this responsibly by microdosing. If you're trying to you're in like full blown relapse mode. Like right now, it's just microdosing. You're not feeling it, so you're either going to take full doses of that or go back to your DOC, your drug of choice.
Across the board, I get concerned for the why. If you're why is it that you think microdosing LSD is a good idea, right? What is it that you're trying to get out of it? Because here's the thing with LSD, psilocybin, any of those disassociative drugs, I happen to believe, and this is an opinion, you hear that? This is an opinion. I'm not backing this up with anything other than my opinion. But I am of the firm belief that there is incredible benefits that can be done through therapy kind of a thing with LSD and with mushrooms. We didn't really get a chance because the government tried to tie LSD to the Vietnam War protesters and all of that. So all of this great research that was being done on this got the plug pulled out of it. And there's been a group of people that have kept that alive. And now we're just now starting to get back through it. I've not done it with LSD by full disclosure, but by full disclosure, I do it annually with psilocybin. Normally a couple of times a year. I will get ready for it a couple of weeks ahead of time. I journal out what I'm hoping to work on. And it's like tiptoeing through your own mind. But that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not playing the wall, and I'm not putting on cool music or anything else. I'm covering my eyes with an eye shield, and I'm going to spend 3 or 4 hours with my ego gone. What disassociative drugs do and why psychiatrists are so fascinated by them is it is the full destruction of ego.
Yeah. That's very true.
I have a line of coke, you feel like you're cool.
Yeah.
Right? You do acid and you're not cool, it'll tell you you're not.
Yeah, that's so true, dude.
If you're an asshole,
have heard good things though with veterans and suicidal ideation. Have you heard that?
Yes.
Yeah. I have heard good things about that. But I don't know enough to speak on it. I just have heard.
I can talk about 12 individuals who I have worked with on the lifeboat who are returning from combat. 11 of them were men and one was a woman. And all of them have been doing psilocybin, and they've not been doing a microdosing. They have been going to a doctor who is giving them 1.5 grams, right? They're giving them a heroic dose, and they're 12 for 12 in terms of they believe this is helping them. The first 6 dudes that I ever met that did this never finished the program. They were supposed to go and do either 3 or 4 sessions over the course of 1.5 years or whatever. And either on the first trip or the second trip or whatever went, I'm good. Like I'm good. I made peace with this. And that's, that's kind of the goal. There's a great story that's actually been published. This is in like JAMA and all of that. And it was a returning veteran who entered the army in a buddy program. So he and his best friend, that he watched this guy get killed. So his best friend through life, all that. And he was suffering with ideation of wanting to take himself off of planet and really having problems with survivor guilt. And he says that he went in there and after tripping his balls off, he had a conversation with his friend. Now, we all know it's a hallucination, right? Or maybe it isn't. But this guy hears a conversation with his friend who said, you went home and this is what you're doing with your life, right? Like, this is what you're doing. I'm gone. I'm good. Everything's great where I'm at, but you're pissing away your life because I'm gone. You're an idiot. And the dude came out of this trip and shook hands and said, I'm going to go live my life, and has. So I think that I do think that there's a great potential for these substances. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of people that really love to party on this shit, and they're fun party drugs. They're also really dangerous party drugs. My best friend stepped out of a window on acid. True story, man. My best friend was in a wheelchair, and he's a beast. He's had a hell of a life, but he did it on New Year's, and it wouldn't have happened if he wasn't on acid. Just plain and simple. Yeah. It's because of the disassociation. People step in front of traffic. People do things. Although Art Link, someone's going to put up Art Linkletter's daughter committed suicide on LSD because she thought she could fly. That never happened. Isn't that sad? That never happened. The government went to him and said, are you willing to smut up the reputation of your daughter in order to help people across the world? And he came out and lied that his daughter was tripping when she took her life. She was not. Never happened. It's disgusting.
Yeah, that is disgusting. Do you remember that Welcome Back Kotter episode where Horshack got high on LSD and he thought he could fly, and Vinnie Barbarino and Juan Epstein, they tried to talk him off the ledge? Do you remember that episode?
I absolutely remember that episode.
Yeah. That's like one of the only episodes of that show I remember. I mean, of course I remember little things.
Yeah, a little.
But I remember that whole episode.
Do you remember that Horseshack's name meant the cattle are dying?
Yeah.
That's always been one of my dad used to laugh anytime, because the substitute says Horseshack. It's a lovely name. What does it mean? The cattle are dying. This is my problem as well, Tommy. Not military related, but I suffer from major self-deletion. Depression. That's why I am interested in the effects and dosages of this stuff. Therapy can't do everything. You're right. You need to talk to a doctor, and I would bring up specifically therapy with psilocybin mushrooms. With that kind of therapy, this could be it could be ideal. But I would talk to, and if they go, oh, we don't do that, just be very polite and go, okay, that's great, because there is a person out there that is doing it. There's a doctor near you that's doing it, and they're professionals. They sit in the room with you. You're not going home to trip your balls off alone. I mean, if you're really into that, if that's something you're cool and you've done a lot of tripping, whatever. But if you're not, there's going to be somebody there to make sure that you're not going to put yourself into harm's way. And they set up a nice environment. But I would absolutely recommend doing that. I think it's yes, I get mine from a source. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I'll be really honest. I haven't been going in anymore either. And I may do a show on how I get it at some point, because I get it a way everybody could. But I don't know that this is the place to do that yet. It's not, believe it or not, amazingly, mushrooms are not illegal. It's a very strange.
Yeah, you can buy mushroom vapes in Denver. It's a vape.
It's unusual. And there are certain places where they're not illegal to buy, and the spores are never illegal to buy. So there is a company out there now, you probably are all familiar, or if this is something that you have researched or followed, there's companies that will sell you penis envy, which is the name of a particular brand of fungus, and it comes in a syringe. You put it into a bag. There's a little port, like a seal port. You stick it in. You squeeze all the spores in. You mash it up, and you throw it in a dark, cool place. It grows once. It's a one-shot deal, and it's over, but it'll grow you a 2 or 3 year supply.
Wow, really?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, depending on how hard you go on them, it'll.
I get it. Yeah.
But it's a bag it grows a bag that's about maybe a 1.5 feet long, about 2 feet wide. And then the whole thing will just be, just covered in little caps.
That's crazy.
It really will be. Yeah. But there's also companies out there that sell them in chocolate. There's companies out there that sell them. So you buy a chocolate bar, and the bar might be 2.5 grams or 3 grams of mushrooms. So you count up the squares, figure out what you're doing. You eat chocolate, which is something that is, I like the idea of, because the one thing that I really, I am not a big fan of shrooms. Thank you, John. I will be letting everybody know when I do the shows on that for the Mormon stuff. I appreciate that. I also got a decent amount of hate. I thought I did it pretty nicely, but I got a decent amount of hate. Ketamine treatment can be great in a clinic, but for those who do it at home, it can be very addictive. Ketamine is always going to be wildly addictive. If you have a
I did not know that for some reason.
Oh, ketamine is so addictive. It is a wildly, especially.
I've done Special K a few times. I didn't. Yeah.
But you get into powder?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I bought it on the street, and it was very much like almost like an ecstasy kind of it was a really kind of.
We were mixing it in with the meth. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you get, like, I used to go down and buy the liquid stuff. And it was so over the top. I never had any fun. When you do ketamine at a level that you're not getting the trippy, disassociative, euphoric. Ketamine is an analog of PCP. So we know we're dealing. I mean, penicillin is a mother of a drug. So this is a very, very strong dissociative drug. If you do it in really small amounts, it feels very much like an opiate.
I have a video of Hazley on ketamine. She was at the doctor, and they gave her some ketamine. It's the cutest video. She's it's gonna make me cry thinking about it, but she's so cute, man.
Yeah, kids are something else, man. I've seen there's actually a site where you can look at a lot of kids that, like, coming out of anesthesia and things like that. Yeah. Pretty funny stuff. Yeah. Ketamine treatment is in the United States, KP, in the United States, they've actually, ketamine treatment has gotten to be far less expensive As it takes off, it's getting to get cheaper. 500. Well, that's also Scottsdale. I mean, Scottsdale is probably not the place to be going to a ketamine clinic if you're trying to get a bargain. Nothing in Scottsdale is a bargain. Nice city, though. I love Scottsdale. I did doctor-assisted ketamine. It was nice a few times, but my addictive personality tells me no more. Just saying, if I had a hat on, I would take it off. I have been recommended ketamine therapy by every doctor on the planet. They all think it would be perfect for psychological reasons, and ketamine has a very strong pain-killing qualities to it. I'm terrified of ketamine. Terrified. I researched it, and I got scared just in the process of researching it. I know what happened to Matthew Perry with ketamine is a cautionary tale. Obviously, the doctors on that were evil, and they were looking at him as a paycheck, and it was disgusting, obviously. But it does go to show you that once you have the ability to start rolling, then you're in trouble. Nothing in New York is cheap either. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, that absolutely. Yeah, New York ain't no joke either in terms of prices, to be sure. The startup of it all was a heck of a lot more than 500. Let me tell you, KP, that's terrible. When I looked into it, it was going to get me started was going to be 300 and change. But I was doing it through a company. I wasn't going into a clinic. I was doing it through a company online. There's a couple of really big named ones that I'm not going to advertise for, but they're not easy. I mean, they're not hard to find. But shrooms are, but I've had incredible success with mushrooms in terms of each time I have used mushrooms as a sober adult, not tripping on it when I was kids or when I was a kid or whatever. But since getting sober and using psilocybin as a way to try to calm me or a way to try to work on specific problems that I was having mentally, I've had nothing but success coming off each of the therapies that I did on psilocybin. I was a better version of Tommy Scoble, and that being said, I don't know that I would recommend it to everybody. If you've played with dissociative drugs in the past, then I would suggest that it's worth giving it a try. If you've never done any trip drugs, I'm always scared to tell anybody to do a drug they haven't done. It just makes me feel weird. My daughter has severe anxiety, and her meds work sometimes, not always. Do you think shrooms would help her? Not asking for medical advice, just asking if shrooms can help. There have been people that have had breakthroughs from anxiety after doing psilocybin therapy. But what I would say to you is research psilocybin therapy, start to talk to doctors, using me as an example. The first time I did it with doctors. I don't anymore because once I realized what they were doing, basically they were administering an amount of substance to me, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm not stupid. I've done a lot of shrooms. I can take my keys and put them away. I'm never going to trip to the point where I go, I don't know who I am. I'm not doing those amounts or doing anything like that. But I would definitely do some research. There will be some people in your area who are doing psilocybin therapy, I promise you, and research that. I have everything that I've worked on, I had success with. I mean, I can't fix my pain, but when I was working on, specific problems, for instance, I'm going to be doing it again. And the next time I do it, I'm going to be more open about it. I'm going to tell people before I do it and everything. But I'm working up to my next one now, and it's imposter syndrome is one of my biggest problems. Just plain and simple. And it should be. It makes a lot of sense if you think about where I came from and what I'm doing. There's a lot of people that say a lot of really nice things about me, and I know who I am. I know how I started out and the person that. So that's something I struggle with, and it's going to be the next thing that I work on when I do my next tiptoeing through the fungus session.
Mm-hmm. And I've talked about that.
Yeah, I have 8 or 9 mushroom tattoos. I have mushrooms all over me. tattoos and mushrooms. Just kind of an aside because of Alice in Wonderland, but I do have a lot of. That is the simplest route. Yeah, to be sure. Yeah, growing is probably going to be the simplest route, Jeremy. And if you look this stuff up, it's not difficult to find. And again, they're perfectly legal to possess. You can even make them. It's just once you dry them out or something else, there's a weird law about it. But you can buy the stuff. You're not breaking the law to do that. I do think that as a country and as a world, we need to take a really good hard look at making substances illegal because they change a person's consciousness. I don't think that's a good idea. Because I can't handle drugs, it doesn't mean I think that all drugs ought to be wiped off the planet. I can't do blow. I don't think blow ought to be illegal. I don't think heroin ought to be illegal. I know that people freak out at this, but every problem we have stems from a black market. We have made these substances worth dying for. You know, a backpack full of something that you're going to bring across a border that can make your family $200,000 in a country where if your family had $4,000, they'd be rich. Those people are always going to smuggle that. It's always going to be brought here because you've made it that effing valuable. And it's funny because I used to go to Mexico to buy dope and you could get down there and get it for, I don't know, a couple bucks a gram. You know,
some of those border towns, the whole town's so high.
That's it. The only time that becomes worth anything is when it crosses that imaginary line. On that side of the border, that stuff's cheaper than you could possibly imagine. You know, no one's getting sick because they can all afford it.
I was down in Mazatlan just on a vacation, and a buddy of mine who I had done some heroin with and some deals with, he was from Culiacan, which is just north of Mazatlan. Dude, this guy literally had like took me to this ranch, and there was like these ditches that were like this deep where these old ladies were stirring tar.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you can tell everyone's high, you know.
Yep.
But but people are coming in and out, going to work, doing this, but that was their little thing, and it was a trip, bro.
Yeah, so just south of Puerto Vallarta, there's a place called Navarrete, and you used to have to drive around this big mountain to get to it. It's a very, very small little town, but it is where they produce all of the smack in Mexico. That whole hillside is just all poppies. And I had gone down there actually to buy from a guy that I had met in prison. I met him in prison, and he said, "Oh, my family makes this stuff. If you come down," and I mean, you could buy a ball of it. I'm not joking. Like, this would cost you $250.
Yeah.
It's like a lifetime, a 2-year supply of smack. I went through it pretty quick, but it's worthless until you get it to the other side of the border. But I do think that the world would be a safer place if we legalized all substances. And everybody goes, "Oh no, people would be going nuts." No, people go nuts to steal money to get drugs. If the drugs are free, they got nothing to go nuts about. People go nuts when they can't get stuff. When stuff is that cheap, I promise you that black market creates the issues. Now, would it be perfect instantly? No, it wouldn't, because you would have a lot of people that had never experienced, legalized substances. You do see a spike. You see a spike in people who never would have tried the drug now trying it because it's legal. But if you ever go into
Oregon, just went through that whole thing.
Yeah, if you go, Oregon's go there. They did shrooms, and there's a lot of stuff they decriminalized. But if you, and I think they some of it is like if you get go ahead.
I'm sorry, no, they're reversing it now. Because they're in the middle of that spike. They're not waiting for it to level out and let it do its thing.
They also didn't come up with a plan. They had no plan. Oregon is probably the poster child for how to not legalize or decriminalize drugs. They did it really, really poorly, in my opinion. But that's my humble opinion on this. What Oregon did was create the largest homeless problem that you can imagine.
Exactly.
People, if you're going to be a junkie, and you're going to be a street junkie, and I'm using those words intentionally, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but if you're living on the street doing heroin, that you're a street junkie. And if that's how you're living, your biggest problem is being arrested for being on the street. It's your biggest problem. You're probably not being arrested for crimes and for crazy stuff. It's just going to be vagrancy and loitering and those kind of stupid things. So if you can go to a place where getting caught with dope in your pocket isn't going to get you in any trouble, then you're going to go there. And they have roads of just abandoned RVs and cars that people got there and just, they were putting up tents with nobody in them. And the homeless were just moving into them. They created the problem. They really did. And they did it.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is the world, especially within the US, looks to that as the example. Well, look at how great it went when they did it in Oregon. Well, they did it really poorly in Oregon.
Yeah, they did.
And in most places, you are gonna get that spike. But if you ever go into the hood, and I know you probably have been, you were addicted to smack. You go into the hood, and the kids know everything, right? Because they have been looking at this for 5 and 6 generations. And I remember pulling up, and I'd be like, "Hey, man, you know where Lenny's at? I don't talk to that fool. He's a heroin addict, man. He's probably doing dope with someone like the 9-year-olds are telling you that the guy's a junkie." And I remember at the time thinking, "Oh man, it's awesome." It really is. It's what happens is we view this with alcohol. You know what I mean? Like I grew up with alcohol around my house. My dad drank. He wasn't a drinker, but my dad had booze around. And I watched people who were drunk. I knew before I was 6 or 8 that there were people that could handle alcohol and there were people that weren't very good at it. You know what I mean? And those kind of lessons, Portugal, there you go. So there have been other countries that have decriminalized and that are having an awful lot of success with it. There really are some countries that are, you get caught with an ounce of blow and you have to go to court. Like they will bring you in front of the judge. They don't take you drugs, but they bring you in front of a judge and the judge says to you, "That's a lot. Do you have a problem with this stuff? Do you need help?" And because they're not spending money on this fake war on drugs, they got enough money where if the guy goes, "Yeah, you know what, I could probably use a little help," they'll give it to him, right? They'll get this person set up so that they can get into rehab or they can do all those things. The second largest budget in the United States of America is the war on drugs. It is second only to the military. We have spent more money on that. We're talking about money you can't wrap your dome around. The second largest budget in the US is the war on drugs, and we're losing it. And they know we're losing it. And they're not fighting the war because it's winnable. They're fighting it because it's fundable. Because of how big this budget is, none of these people want to lose their little fiefdom. So every year they buy new military assault vehicles to go raid the hood and get crack out with. It's just money. It's just all of these people that want their budgets to continue. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It really is, especially because up until the 1930s, all of these drugs were legal. In 1933, we passed the act, and all of these things ended up, we made blow illegal. We made, the Narcotics Act made everything illegal. There's a book called The Silent Scream that is worth reading because
I think I've read that.
Yeah, the guy that started this whole war on drugs did it because his wife was a junkie.
Yeah.
And it's been an abject disaster. At every step of the way, nothing good has come from it. We have no victories to show. Name a big victory in the war on drugs?
Yeah,
we haven't had one. Sadly, we just really have not had one.
And I've been forgetting to play our bottom ticker. But
you have, the Chiron, I believe they call that. That's called a Chiron.
Really?
I don't know why I know that. I do know why I know that because Chiron's only used to tell you the ticker symbols and what was trading, and we used to watch that. And we used to watch that thing to see if, if we were losing money because we didn't care, but if the person we ripped off the night before for selling stock, if they were losing money, was I going to get hate calls in the morning when I got to my office? Tell my secretary I went to Guam. I'll be back.
I will never forget that. What's the saying? The more you know.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Yep. Well, we are going to be back tomorrow, and I should be here for the entire show. I think I'm getting
awesome, man. I got some cool things lined up for tomorrow. Hey, John, I did email you back, and Blessed to Crochet. Those videos I'm making with the music are almost done. Awesome. And those are going to be fun to play with and to show everybody. And we're just going to have fun, man. This is going to be a cool couple weeks. And then hopefully some Diddy stuff drops, right? We get some more tea. on all the stuff. Hey, Calhoun. That's my dude, man.
You're wrong.
I did?
My kids. No, he did. He says you're a Chiron. I said you spelled you're wrong because he was taking a shot at me, so I thought I'd take a shot back at him. I love him. He's my boy. That's my favorite.
Oh, you said you're a Chiron. Yeah, that's so funny. I do that. Me and my sister do that all the time. We were in my wife hates it when I do it. We were like in the grocery store, like at Whole Foods in Pasadena or whatever, and they had these like these all natural fudgesicles, and they're really creamy. And I like when it melts in your mouth, it's super creamy. And I was like, man, these are creamy. She's like, you're creamy. We like do that to each other, all the time. But it's
maturity level
when it's happening.
Match up perfectly, right? You're
Thank you, brother.
20 years less mature than you're supposed to be, which is perfect, right?
Yeah,
me too.
I appreciate
I
that.
screwed up. My girl needed to be about 6 years younger if I wanted to match up on. The trouble is that my girl is, my girl is mature actually, but she's got she has the immaturity level of a 7-year-old sometimes when it comes to comedy. Makes us we're the perfect couple. We make each other laugh.
First thing I noticed or observed or whatever you want to say or realized about her was her snap. And I think I even texted you about it. I was like, man, she's got some snap, bro.
Yeah, Quibs is quick on her feet. She's funny as hell. She makes me laugh. We were laughing last night before I went to bed. My cat last night, Squirrel, man, like I'm trying to lay on my side because I can't get comfortable on my back. So I was laying on my side and Squirrel was walking from my ankle to my shoulder and back on my body. And I'm like, what? And I'm rolling to like kick her off and she would just get back up and do it. And Quibs was dying. I was watching him just laugh at me like, you poor man. Squirrel was on. All right. We are going to be back tomorrow. Are you taking us out? You should be.
I will take us out. When I left, I had to go get coffee. My eyes were starting to cross, man. It was crazy.
Yeah,
all right, guys.
It's part of the game.
All right.